As a child, I didn't know Christ. I believed in God, but I didn't know Christ at all. I didn't even really know what that meant. During high school, I kind of started drinking a lot, going to a lot of parties. After high school, I just got a job and kept drinking, just hanging out with my friends.
I grew up with a faith in God, but not practicing. I knew Jesus existed and that God created the world, but I didn't go to church or practice my faith in any capacity.
I was introduced to Christ by a man named Dan Pierce. He's the type of guy that tells everybody about Christ. Like, there isn't anybody in the warehouse that he didn't tell about Jesus. With me, it took me about 4 or 5 years for it to really sink in. He had been telling me for so long, and I just kind of ignored it. I just kept doing my thing. I kept drinking, doing whatever I wanted to in life, and then he gave me a pamphlet that was entitled Steps to Peace with God. I just kind of put it off for about a week there, and then one night in 2008, I said a prayer and accepted Christ into my life and into my heart, and it's never been the same since.
He had come home from work and had decided, I don't believe it was that day, but had questions and thoughts about Jesus and, you know, his salvation, and it was within a couple days, I believe, that he had accepted Christ.
So then I was telling my wife my wife Jenessa, about the decision that I had made to follow Christ, and she was kind of like standoffish at first.
I, in my head, was pretty stubborn about it because I thought, I believe in God, I believe in Jesus, like, I don't need to do any big change, that I've always believed in Jesus. But like I said, I wasn't practicing that faith. I was just living my normal life.
So I kept telling her, and then eventually it hit her.
Having somebody else that was there that wanted that relationship, and he was so headstrong that he wanted it, and he knew what he wanted, and that it kind of opened that door that that's okay for me to want too, and that it was kind of gradual. I think that I saw him practicing it and wanting it, and eventually he got through to me that just believing in him wasn't enough, that I had to actually commit to my relationship with him and have a relationship, not just this thought in the back of my head that he existed, and that was great.
We were both baptized about a year after we were saved, so it took a while there, on the 4th of July. And I was baptized, and then I baptized her immediately after.
I was extremely pregnant, and he forgot to lift me back up out of the water. So I was just laying there under the water, extremely pregnant, couldn't get back up, and then he finally remembered and brought me back up. But so that was my baptism story. And ever since then, we've just been letting God lead our life. We followed his lead into the Army and followed the Army out to Washington. Everywhere he leads, we're just following, just along for the ride.